In today's video, DOGE uncovers another scandal. Also, in a shocking move, SCOTUS has ruled against President Trump, and Democrats are still claiming Republicans are going to cut entitlement benefits.
Some breaking news before we go to break. Supreme Court ordering the Trump administration to return this man right here, his last name, Abrego Garcia, an illegal immigrant and alleged MS-13 gang member who the Trump administration sent to SCOTUS, the prison in El Salvador. The Supreme Court saying he has to come back. This is the guy that was apprehended in Maryland last month. He had his wife on CNN, I think, today. The administration arguing that the U.S. court can't compel El Salvador to return him to the United States. But apparently, this mistaken man, or so they claim, mistakenly sent to SCOTUS in El Salvador, is going to have to come back as, again, the judicial system making some very bizarre decisions protecting these illegal entering potential MS-13 gang members.
So the bottom line up front that you need to be aware of, SCOTUS did not specify when or how this migrant needs to be returned back to America, okay? We gave you a fair warning in regards to this case. SCOTUS did rule in favor of President Trump in regards to using the Alien Enemies Act, but this case was still pending and they've spoken. So we'll see what the lower court judge has to say because they are now required to specify to the Trump administration the way they want this done. Now, I think the better question for people and what we should probably be focusing on is the fact that this is an illegal migrant and still is subject to be deported once they come back to this country. Take a look.
Here we go. We got a massive problem with illegal immigration in the United States. The voters made it clear they wanted Donald Trump to do something about it. Donald Trump tries to take measures, sometimes I guess extraordinary measures, to keep us safe, and yet the courts say, no, we're going to step in as the commander-in-chief and essentially do your job.
Well, I think that it's important to give context here, Laura, as this is breaking. I just had a chance to review the order before coming on your show, and it's very limited. This guy is deportable. This guy is a gang member. He is an MS-13 member, and they can deport him. They just couldn't deport him to El Salvador, evidently. So at the end of the day, this guy's going to be gone, and he should be gone, and there are hundreds of thousands more like him. This mass deportation effort, the American people, as you said, voted for this. We need more of it. And Judge Boasberg was slapped down earlier this week when he tried to intervene in the core Article 2 powers of the President of the United States. So as all these cases make their way through, the President's well within his authority to do it. In this specific example that just happened here, he's going to get deported, and he should. It just will be somewhere else other than El Salvador.
Okay, so before I get into what he is saying, I just want to give you guys a fair warning. Be prepared for how the media is going to react to this story, okay? I mean, if you want to talk about propaganda, they're going to double down on this. And they're going to say, see, President Trump is deporting everybody to El Salvadorian prisons. That's exactly what they're going to run with. And I'll even show you. Here on the screen, we got Ground News. Again, we use this website because it shows us exactly what both sides of the political spectrum is saying about a particular story. And in this story, the left is all over it. And here's examples. Supreme Court upholds order directing Trump officials to return wrongly deported man. They don't even say wrongly deported migrant, illegal migrant, because he did cross the border illegally. No, wrongly deported man. And the interesting thing about using Ground News, you get to see who's actually talking about these stories, because in this situation, there's no media outlets on the right talking about this at this point in time or publishing articles about it. It's only media outlets on the left, which is why Ground News has a tool called Blind Spot, where it shows you stories that are disproportionately covered by one side of political spectrum. Why does this matter? Because if you're into politics and you're watching my show, you want to see what both sides are saying. So if you want to use this tool for yourself, all you have to do is go to ground.news/Devori, or you could download the mobile app. Just use promo code Devori, and it's going to give you access to everything that I showed you in this video, including 40% off the Vantage plan.
What this tells us, though, is that their propaganda is working, right? And that is what's so dangerous. This administration has someone that is heading up DHS that is going out there cosplaying with guns that it's clear she don't even know how to operate the guns. And, you know, she's taking these photos, you know, with people, and they're telling them, yeah, they're Venezuelan gang members, right? And so they are telling telling people, listen, we're getting rid of the bad people, right? And we don't have enough stories because obviously they decided they were going to get rid of due process to know whether or not you really are going and getting the bad guys. There's somebody straight out of Dallas, Texas, who literally was snatched up and sent off to this same place because he had an autism tattoo, you know? And so they don't know the real stories. They only know what they're presented with. And we know that for whatever reason, when Trump and his cronies present lies, the American people fall in love. But the reality of this administration is a whole other story.
Okay, well, she claims that Kristi Noem is cosplaying, but here's the reality. We had an administration that was afraid to step in front of a camera. Now we have an administration that is in front of the camera too much, according to her statement, right? So you can't have it both ways. That's number one. Number two, this is what the American people voted for. You can deny it. You can not agree. You can also disagree with it, but you cannot fight existing reality. And it's not that people are eating up what President Trump is saying, is that they see the damage that's been done after you allow millions of migrants to invade this country. Now, she wasn't the only one with a ridiculous reaction to this ruling. Take a look at this.
Do you believe the Trump administration is going to comply and bring him home?
Well, so far the signs are very poor. Now, we didn't have this decision by the Supreme Court, and I hope and expect that they will have to comply with it.
Well, there's no question that they will comply with the Supreme Court. That's obvious. Secondly, I would expect Democrats, they should be jumping up and down, right? This is what they asked for, democracy. There's 3 branches of government, but they live in a world where they just believe President Trump is going to defy orders. That's not true, okay? He exercised the way our government works. If they don't agree with a district court judge, they appeal it to the Supreme Court. And by the way, Adam Schiff knows everything about saving face. This is a guy who was censured in Congress. So you can't help but ask yourself, why are Democrats so obsessed with protecting illegal migrants? Well, I think I found the answer. Here's what Jasmine Crockett thinks about illegals.
So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better to connect the dots and let people know the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies. And the same can go for the hospitality industries, where we have so many of those in the hospitality industry that are saying they do not have the workers that they need right now.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about her statement, not that it actually makes any sense, it's that at the same time President Trump in his cabinet meeting, he came out and announced that he would be working with farmers and hospitality companies, that if they have undocumented employees, that there would be a process established to facilitate their return.
We're also going to work with farmers that if they have strong recommendations for their farms for certain people, we're going to let them stay in for a while and work with the farmers and then come back and go through a process, a legal process. But we have to take care of our farmers and hotels and various places where they need the people.
Give me your reaction in the comment section below to what the president just said. I'm going to give you mine right now. I believe he had a serious conversation with someone. Who that person is, I don't know. But they probably warned him that if they continue to try to deport individuals who are working at farms or hospitality companies, that could become a problem for him politically. Now, obviously, I'm just speculating, but why else would he make that statement? I mean, it's very simple. If you cross the border illegally, you committed a crime, you should be deported, right? 1 + 1 = 2. Let me know if you see it that way as well. Now, let's go to our next story. And this is actually a bombshell story that came out earlier. And it's the massive federal benefits fraud that was uncovered by DOGE.
Well, this goes down as one of the craziest examples of government fraud that Elon Musk and his DOGE team have found. People from the future getting unemployment checks, people who have already died getting unemployment checks. It sounds like some twisted Back to the Future sequel, but it's real life and how your taxpayer dollars are being stolen by scammers. The Department of Government Efficiency did an audit of unemployment insurance claims since 2020. So this is just over the past 5 years. They found that 24,000 dead people over 115 years old claimed $59 million in benefits. 28,000 people under 5 years old claimed a massive $254 million in unemployment benefits. And over 9,000 people who have not been born yet claimed $69 million in benefits. President Trump wants to know how to get the money back.
Now, the one thing that I'm interested in is how will Democrats react to this story? Will they even give it attention? I know MSDNC is not going to bring it up. And if CNN brings it up, what they're going to do is push the lie that this is Elon Musk trying to take away entitlement benefits from American citizens. And we already know that's a lie.
So they are trying to get the money back, but more importantly, put fraud controls in place so that if someone who has not been born yet is trying to get money, they're at least flagged as suspicious. In one example, someone who claims to be born in 2154, so almost 30 years into the future, actually received $41,000 from the government. Martha?
Wow.
Yeah, so first it's someone who's older than 114 years old receiving Social Security benefits. Now it's someone claiming to be born in the year, 2154, and they're able to receive unemployment benefits. I mean, what's going on here, people? Now, I could tell you what's going on with Democrats. They were trying to claim that Elon Musk has been kicked out of the White House, that he wouldn't be attending the cabinet meeting where this story was uncovered. But guess what? He was there, and here's what he said.
Well, thanks to your fantastic leadership, this amazing cabinet, and the very talented DOGE team, I'm excited to announce that we anticipate savings in FY26 from reduction of waste and fraud by $150 billion. And and some of it is just absurd, like people getting unemployment insurance who haven't been born yet. I mean, I think anyone can appreciate whether, come on, that's just crazy. Some of these things, if people ask me, like, well, how are you going to find waste and fraud in the government? I'm like, well, actually just go in any direction. That's how you find it. It's very common. it's as the military would say, target-rich environment. So I think we're doing a lot of good in excellent collaboration with the cabinet to achieve these savings, and it will actually result in better services for the American people, and then we're going to be spending their tax dollars in a way that is sensible and fair and good.
And of course, ABC is right on it, looking to spin this story. They say after reports of clashes between high-ranking members of the Trump administration, Elon Musk attended a cabinet meeting at the White House and touted his DOGE initiative. I mean, these guys just make up stuff for clicks. I mean, what stories do they really have to support that headline? None. Now, a more serious point that we need to cover is the continuing narrative that the media and Democrats like to push in order to scare senior citizens that their Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security benefits are going to be cut because of what DOGE is doing. However, RFK Jr. was on Fox News earlier to defend DOGE and that he's not going to cut Medicaid benefits for people who are supposed to be receiving them. Listen to it for yourself.
You oversee the Medicaid program. Do you think they're looking for $880 billion in savings over 10 years? The fraud number is somewhere between $30 and $50 billion a year. Do you think that they can cut that money out of Medicaid? And is it something you support, those cuts?
Well, I certainly support any cut of waste or misuse or fraud. And we're in a very good position now to identify that and to eliminate it because we have DOGE working with us, and they've been really extraordinary about finding fraud in all of the agencies. And they're being very helpful with us. So we think we're going to be able to identify it and eliminate it.
While
incidentally protecting the Medicaid, while protecting the Medicaid program and improving services to our poorest Americans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you notice, he had to catch himself there because if he would have ended the sentence by just saying eliminate it, the media and Democrats would have said, did you hear what RFK Jr. just announced that he's going to eliminate Medicaid? I mean, that's how petty these people are. And I just don't understand why two things can't be true at the same time. That people who should be receiving Medicaid or Medicare or Social Security, they actually receive it without getting scammed. And secondly, that the scammers or the fraud, waste, or abuse gets rooted out. Now, that's not the only talking point that Democrats are using to scare people. They're continuing to claim that Republicans, with the new budget resolution bill that was passed yesterday, is going to cut Medicaid. Well, here's what Speaker Johnson had to say about that.
The Democrats, as I noted this morning, have said that we're going to cut Medicaid. It is not true. We're going to protect the benefits that everyone is legally entitled to. The beneficiaries who have a legal right to that, it will be preserved. Those are essential safety net programs that Republicans support. The president has made clear Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid will not take a hit. So you can count on that, and you can watch it develop as we go.
I agree with Speaker Johnson, and this is why I'm motivated to always do this show, because I want to show you what both sides are saying. Democrats continue to push the same old lie. Republicans are going to cut benefits to do what? Give tax cuts to their billionaire friends. There's no receipts to show that. But it doesn't matter for Democrats because we can give them the facts and the receipts. They're still going to make it up in their head and lie about it. And yes, I have an example of it. Watch this.
Well, good to be back with you, Jose. And for everybody watching, let's just be absolutely clear what's going on here. We know Republicans are trying to gut into the federal budget, things like Social Security, Medicaid, etc., simply to fund more tax breaks for the wealthiest people in America and the biggest corporations on the planet. So the real question is, what does that mean for working families in California and across the country?
Well, I could tell you for families in California, what's happening in D.C. is not the problem. What's happening here is the electricity prices keep going up. The gas prices keep going up because they thought it was a great idea to rebuke the energy policies that President Trump signed in regards to lowering fuel prices. So the prices here in California has not gone down. Yeah, I think families here have more trouble with the government here than in D.C. And maybe the congressman should also be focusing on the fraud, waste, and abuse within California.
305 million of that 400 million in the improper unemployment benefits were from 3 states, 3 blue states, California, New York, and Massachusetts. And it turns out that California, of the people that the CBP identified as either on terrorist watch lists or with criminal records, about 70% of those payments were done in California. So I guess, Laura, I have a question of what is going on in these blue states that they continue to give these unemployment benefits to illegals?
It's a great question, and I don't think Democrats will answer it, and an investigation will have to take place to show the receipts of the corruption. That's exactly what DOGE has been uncovering, and that's why they continue to lie about Elon Musk and make up stories. Now, this brings me to the question I'd like for you to answer in the comment section. What is your reaction to the SCOTUS ruling? What is your reaction to the new bombshell story uncovering the fraud within unemployment insurance payments? Let me know what you guys think about all that in the comment section below. Now, speaking about big announcements, earlier today, we got great news. Inflation is down, and so is the Consumer Pricing Index. But don't worry, because the media refused to talk about it, but we showed you exactly why it's important and why it matters. And if you missed out on that story and earlier topics from today, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.